Good morning. Today we will continue our chapter economics reforms. Previously we already seen about that what is economics reform since 1991. What is economic reforms, introduction of that economics reforms. Three parts of that: liberalization, privatization and globalization. We already seen what is liberalizations. It means freeing in the Indian business and the industries from the unnecessary control and restrictions. Under this, we are already seeing that what is the regulations of industrial sector, measures of deregulations of the industrial sectors, financial sectors reforms, tax reforms, and foreign exchange reform also, trade and investment policy reforms. And in the privatization, we already seen what is privatization, meaning of privatization. It means giving the greater role to the private sector in the nation, building the process and the reach the role the public sector. So according to the privatizations, PSUs, that is the improving the efficiency of PSUs. Now today we will start the globalization. What is globalization? So in the simple form, globalization is the outcomes of the policies of liberalization and privatization. It means globalization refers to the integration of our economy with the world economy. It is the system in which goods, services, investment and people move freely across the political boundaries. In the simple terms, the globalization is a complex phenomenon. It is an outcome of the set of the various policies that are aimed at the transforming the world towards the greater independence and integrations. It involves the creation of the network and activities of the economic, social and the geographical boundaries. It is the turning the world into the whole or the creating the borderless world. Some measures taken for the globalization of the Indian economy. Restrictions on the foreign investment have been removed. Now, in many production areas, 100% foreign direct investment is allowed. Next, import and export quotas have been removed. Custom duties have been reduced. So we can say, we just on the other hand, we promote the export and import. Third, partially convertibility of Indian rupee is the perimeter. The rupee has been devalued. Fourth, the country adopt a long-term trade policy. Positive effect of the globalization. Greater access to global market. High technology and increase the positivity or possibility of large industries of developing countries to become the important players in the international area. Some negative effects of globalization is also there. Because of the globalization is a strategy of the developed of the countries to expand their market in the other countries. It has comprised the welfare and the identify the people belonging to the poor countries. Second, market-driven globalization has witnessed and the economic disparities among the nations and people. Third, it has increased the income and the quality of the consumption of only high income groups, and the growth has been concentrated only in the some selected areas in the service sector such as telecommunications, information technology, finance, entertainment, travel and hospitality services, real assets and trade, rather than the vital sectors such as agriculture and industry, which provides a livelihood to millions of the people in the country. For the globalization, outsourcing, that is the most important criteria. Outsourcing. What is outsourcing first? Outsourcing is the one of the important outcomes of the globalization process. In outsourcing, a company hires regular services from external sources, mostly from the other countries, which was the previously provided internally or from within the country, like legal advisors, computer services, advertisement, securities, etc. As a form of the economic activities, outsourcing has the important in the recent times because of the growth of the fast modes of communications, particularly the growth of the IT sector. So, outsourcing is the practice in which a company hires the regular services from the external source, mostly from the other countries. Legal services, computer services, advertisement, these are the example of the outsourcing. The growth of the IT helped in the growth of the outsourcing. Many of the services such as voice-based business process, it is called popularly known as the BPO or the call centers, record the keeping, accountancy, banking services, music recording, film editing, book transitions, clinical advice, or even the teaching are being the outsourced by the multinational companies to India, where they can be availed at the cheaper cost with the responsible degree of the skill and the technology or accuracy. The low wages rates and the availability of the skilled manpower in India have made in the destination for global outsourcing in the post-reform period. With the help of the modern telecommunications link, including the internet, the text, voice and visual data is respect of these services is the dignity and the transmit in the real time over the continent and the national boundaries. India is a favorite outsourcing destination because of cheap wages are there. India has lots of skilled manpower, Indian and the fluent in English in language also. Outsourcing is a good for India because of it provides the employment opportunity to a large number of the educated people. It enables India to earn a lot of foreign exchange. It improves the GDP of our country. Economic growth rate increases. Developed countries are opposing outsourcing. It reduces the employment opportunity in their countries. It leads to the outflow of foreign exchange. It affects their growth rate also. Now, next topic is World Trade Organization, WTO. I know you all are familiar with this word. The WTO was founded in 1995 as the successor organizations to the General Agreement on Trade and Tariff, that is GATT, GATT, was established in 1948 with 23 countries as the Global Trade Organization to administer all multilateral trade agreement by providing equal opportunity to all countries in the international market for trading purpose. It is an international organization that promotes the foreign trade and the foreign investment. It aims at the removal of tariff and the non-tariff barriers of the foreign trade. WTO discouraged the bilateral trade agreement and support the multilateral trade agreement. What are the purpose or objective of the WTO? To enlarge the production and trade services. Next, to ensure the optimum utilization of world resources. Third, to protect the environment. Role of the WTO. WTO established the rule-based trading regime in which the nations cannot place arbitrary restrictions on trade. The WTO agreements cover the trade in goods as well as services to facilitate the international trade that is not a bilateral, it is the multilateral. As on 14 July 2016, there are the 164 members in WTO. All members countries government get the most favored nation status. This will help us to increase our trade with other countries. WTO promotes multilateral trade agreement only. It enables us to trade with the several countries without any restrictions. Removal of trade barriers allow our good and enter into the market of the other countries also. WTO also aims to increase the production capacity and the protection of the environment. It benefits India. India is a member of WTO. As an important member of WTO, India has been in the forefront of the Farming Fair global rules, regulations and safeguards and the advocating the interest of the developing world. India has kept its the communicates towards the liberalization of trade by the removing the quantitative restrictions of the import and reducing tariff rates. Effect on the growth and employment. In economic, the growth of economic is measured by the GDP, it is the gross domestic product. The growth of the GDP is increased from 5.6% during the 1980-91 to 8.2% during the 2007 to 2012. Though the good GDP growth rate has increased in the reform period, it has not generated the sufficient employment opportunity in the country. Effect on the growth of agriculture, or that is the adverse effect of the new economic policy of agriculture. Agricultural growth rate decreased in India during the reforms period. Public investment in the infrastructure development such as irrigations, power, roads, etc. decreased. Removal of the fertilizers subsidies affected the small and the managerial farmer. Their cost of production increased. Marginal farmers have the lot of bear for that. Reductions in the import duty and the removal of import quotas resulted in the arrival of foreign agriculture goods to our market. So demand for our goods will be decreased. Removal of the minimum support price made by the farmers vulnerable to market risk. And farmers were encouraged to produce cash crop for export market. It resulted in the increase in the price of food grains. Some effect of new economic policy on industrial growth also. India is seen as a successful exporter of the auto parts, engineering goods, IT software and the textile in the reform period. However, industrial growth has also recorded as a slowdown. The reasons are as follows. Industrial growth rate slowed down in India during the reforms period. Demand for our industrial products decreased due to the arrival of the foreign goods. Our markets are open for the foreign goods. However, the developed countries have not opened their market for our goods. Reduction in the public investment in industrial facilities also affected in the industrial growth. Effects of new economic policy on the welfare and the social justice also. Fall in agricultural production during the reforms period added to the poverty and the unemployment in rural areas. Several farmers committed suicides. Second, cutting of the subsidies increased the cost of the production of farmers. Farming became a loss-making business. Third, privatization made the life of the workers miserable. They lost job security. Fourth, profit became the only aim of the production. So the production of the socially desirable goods of the service is neglected. Next, international competition resulted in the decline of small-scale industries. Several workers become the unemployed. Next, coming up in the MNCs created a lot of job opportunity for the educated people, especially women. Effect of new economic policy of the economic growth also. Economic growth is the measured in the terms of GDP. India's GDP growth rate increased from 5.6% during the 1988 to 91 and 8.2 during the 2007. The growth of the agriculture declined. Industrial sector reported the fluctuating growth rates also. And the service sector has growth rapidly. The growth rate of the service sector reached 10.3 in 2014-15. Effect of economic reforms on the foreign investment. Foreign direct investment or foreign industrial investment increased from $100 millions in 1990-91 to $36 billion in the 2016-17. Foreign exchange reserve increased from $6 billion in 1990-91 to $36 billions. $360 billion in 2014-15. Today, India is one of the largest foreign exchange reserve holders in the world. Farmers were encouraged to produce the cash crops to export the market. It reduced in the increase in the price of the food grains. This investment process during the reform period in 1991-92. The target of the disinvestment was the collected 2,500 crores by disinvestment. The government was able to mobilize the rupees 3040 crores more than the target. In 2014-15, the target was rupees 56,000 crore, whereas the achievement was about the 34,500 crores only. Criticism against the disinvestment policy followed during the reform period. Criticism point out that the assets of PSUs have been undervalued and sold to the private sector. This means that there has been the substantial loss of the government. Moreover, the procedure from the disinvestment was used to offset the storage of government revenues rather than using it for the development of PUCs and building the social infrastructure in the country. Now, effect of economic reforms on the fiscal policy also. Public expenditure on social sector reduced during reforms period. Reduction in taxes affected the revenue receipts of the government. Reduction in the customs duties and tax to foreign investors also affected the government revenue. The reform policy involving the tariff reduction have crucial the scope of the raising the revenue through the custom duties. The tax reduction in the reform period aimed at yielding the larger revenue and curb tax evasions have not resulted in increasing in tax revenue for the government. In order to attract foreign investment, tax incentives were provided to foreign investors, which further reduced the scope of the raising tax revenue. This has a negative impact of the development and the welfare expenditure. Merit or positive impact of the new economic policy LPG, that is liberalization, privatization and globalization. Economic growth is measured in the terms of GDP in India's GDP growth rate is high. Foreign direct investment and the foreign industrial investment increased. Foreign exchange reserve increased. Service sector developed, and this investment enabled India to collect a lot of money and use of the welfare activities. That's all for today. Tomorrow we will do the next demerit and other aspect of the globalization, privatization and liberalization.